Welcome. We've been expecting you. How you doing, everybody? This is Jason's House of Fun and Video Games, bringing you today. Apparently, it's not the only thing I'm going to be expecting. There's a pooch here. There's 5 of them, indeed. If this is your first time on the channel, yes, I have 5 dogs. They're wild. This right here is the 2025 Gameroom Tour. Now, I only took this out for a simple reason, to introduce us into the game room. And then it's going to go back to where it belongs. Where have I been? It has been a hot minute. What, 6 months? 6 months? Whew. Yeah, about 6 months. And the last time that we took a break for 6 months was because of a nasty hurricane called Ian, because I live in the state of Florida. And there's a whole bunch of things we can get into with that. There's plenty of videos to check out to kind of explain that time gap. This one's a little bit different, and I'm going to do things a little differently this time. Is this going to be a super long video? I don't think so. I can now move my mouth. Kind of. I finally bit the bullet, did the right thing, and got the second and last wisdom tooth I have out. I know. Poor me. Is that where I've been? Is that why I've been gone? No. That's just something that needed to happen. I got a nasty infection, as you do with most wisdom teeth that you don't happen to take care of. And I faced the consequences. Not as severe as the last one. The last one was pretty bad. Nice clean and out. Very quick surgery. I did not go under. Even though most people that day apparently wanted to go under, and they were very persistent on saying anesthesia, and I said absolutely not. Just not my thing, my choice. They did it great. It was a number of days today. I'm finally feeling better. It's been about 4 days or 5 days. I don't even know how long it's been now. I think it's been 4 days. No, it's been 5 total. And that's kind of where I've been. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've been wanting to get back to the platform. As I said before, just to reiterate, I'm going to get into that at the very end in a completely different part of the house, so we could talk, just me and you, just be a little personal. But you are not here to hear all about that, especially if this is your first time here. Lots of videos, lots of things to choose from, lots of different entertainment that I have on this channel. Why you're here is the Game Room Tour. Now, have I changed a lot of things? Not too much, but we're going to give you a quick rundown. And of course, you know what's behind here. If you've been here before, if you haven't, you'll get there. There's a ton of things in here. I am a collector, very proud of that. I've been collecting since my very younger years. I'm now 41 now. So I've gone past the 40 years of age, and now I'm getting closer and closer to 50. Still got about 9 years to go, and I'm good with that. Let's get into the Game Room Tour. So, folks, we're going to start off at the top as we normally do. If you can't hear me too well, it's because I've got my little camera up above into the heavens, into the clouds, into the bigger part of the game room. The taller part, rather. As you can see, I'm a huge horror fan. I've got a few things up here. Nothing crazy. Over here is normal business as usual. This hasn't changed at all. All the movies, the greats of the slasher genre. Not going to spend too much time on these, but they are fun. And of course, you're going to throw in some G.I. Joe. I did eventually finally get a Destro. Not in this size, a little bigger, but it's okay. Got these 2 guys here. I'd love to get a smaller one, but just wasn't meant to be. And again, the Halloween franchise, along with some Silent Night, Deadly Night that's covered up. Got my Ecto 1 that's not an original. That's from the 2020 re-release. It's awesome. It matches in every which way of the original Ecto 1. Put on the stickers and everything. Some of my old figures there from the past are in there. You can't really see them. And I got one right up there as well. I'm a huge fan of Ghostbusters. Huge fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Huge fan of horror. Huge fan of everything from the 80s and 90s. It was a wonderful time to be alive. Just some horrorness here. Got some machetes and bats. It's a bat from good old Wally World. This one right here is the actual bat that was released. through, I believe it was NECA. I got it at a good price. I don't have it in box. You know, it's because, I don't know, it just wasn't meant to be as one of those things, but I did have somebody find it for me. They gave it to me at a pretty good price. Couldn't complain. They knew I had a thing with Negan. Love The Walking Dead. Love the whole series. But that particular character is a very difficult character. It's a very complicated character. And then you find out that things aren't always what they seem to be. But either way, great, great, great series. Can't go wrong with that. We're going to continue up and then we're going to loop back around. Got some of my Toy Biz, Spider-Man, Maximum Carnage action figures. We've got some AEW figures hiding over there. I don't have too many of them. So this right here is things I've had here forever. I did not have them up. I think the last time I shot I could have. Got some of these cool figures. I found them at the thrift. They are bus, I guess you would call them. They're kind of worn out. They're kind of beat up, especially the clown one. But for whatever reason, I've always found them interesting. And of course, you got old Scully here. I got plenty of those to go around. You know, the horror theme and everything like that. But look at that clown. Good Lord. What happened to him? Well, I can tell you what happened to him. I forgot about him for almost a year. He sat in my... what did he sit in? He sat in my trunk of my car for well over a year, and I found him. I'm like, oh my God, I thought I lost him. Well, heat and Florida will do that to you. Still, he's cool. And maybe there's a reason why he is the way he is. Just a cool aesthetic. But I've always had something set up like this. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. And then when I realized when I opened the door, got said door stop down there. Oh, we got to check out a few other things here. Time to get a little spazzy. You know that thing from Toy Story? Pretty cool. Thrift item. George W. Bush, he used to speak. I don't know if he does. The golden egg, because why not? And of course, we got the Cookie Police, Cookie Cop. Supposedly, when you lift him up, he says something. I've never really plugged him in. I just thought he was cool again. I like finding cool things at the thrift. Just a little side note over here, because I don't usually look at these too much. Got some VHS, my vinyl, some other cool items as well. Just weird stuff. But cool. That's kind of what we do here. And we're going to keep going and not get too misconvoluted or over-convoluted or whatever I'm trying to say. Got more of the Toy Biz up here. Again, we've gone over these in pretty good detail on an eBay Time and Buys volume, blah, 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 blah. That's an awesome Spider-Man figure I found out in the wild. Pretty expensive piece. Wasn't a huge fan of the portrayal of Venom, but it looks cool. And of course, we still have our Amiibos. They're awesome. I don't take them out of the package. I am a mint on card collector for the most part, and I don't typically deviate from that. These are the re-releases for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lines. There's one for the regular Turtles and one for the movies, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. Am I going to continue with collecting these? I don't know. I think I've kind of itched or scratched the itch. I'm pretty good with them. I love them. They look pretty good. And I've got to tell you, for collectors out there trying to collect the vintage packages, mint on card, you've got to look for a lot of things on there. Obviously, Nickelodeon owns the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, unless that's changed. You look for that, and obviously the dates on it and everything. Just to be safe than sorry, as the pooches bark in the background, because that's what they do. I'm videoing this. I'm recording this pretty early in the afternoon, which is unusual. Can't tell because I got my blacked out shade right over there, but it's raining out there. There's nothing really to show. You hear it, and I'll be feeling it once we get to the end of the video when we talk a little bit more about some personal stuff and where I've been at and what's going on with me. So you got to keep an eye out for things like that, and obviously 40 years would obviously stick out, but some of these do not have it, as you can see. Great figures, probably some really good articulation. I've seen a lot of videos on them where people don't have a thing like me and want to just open things up. I do think that the Shredder, Super Shredder to be exact, does look a tad bit different. But again, I just love looking at them because it reminds me of a different time where things in my life were much more simpler. And it's good to escape reality every once in a while. That's why we're here. That's why we do these videos, just to kind of get out of what we're doing, have some fun, have a good, great conversations with you folks about just about anything that we look at, and try to leave some heavy stuff out, because what's the point of doing that? There's plenty of other channels that may want to look into stuff like that and exercise that, politics and money and business and bullshit, but that's just not me. I just like to have fun and give you an outlet just to shut it off just for a sec. So just keep that in mind. These right here started getting released in 2020, the great year 2020. Oh yeah. So do I have any ambition of keeping on with these as well? I think I've itched this well enough. I have scratched the itch. I don't know really what I'm saying there, but these figures are great. They remind me of the Hasbro line. That is the first line that I decided I want to collect and be mint on card. I didn't do it with it, but that's the first time that I had that inclination. I think these figures look awesome. Some of them are harder to find than others. I always wanted an Andre the Giant in Hasbro. Well, I got him, and I think it's kind of weird. You can't really see, but the man's missing his legs because he's too damn big, or missing his feet, so they're somewhere in behind him. But pretty cool stuff there. You got the Jason head from, I want to say it was Spencer's Gifts. I can't remember. That's so long ago. And another Freddy one as well. I don't have a lot of gaming posters. I have more movie ones in here. If I had it my way, the perfect 3 rooms I would have would be one dedicated to video games, one dedicated to media. Movies is another one of my passion. Maybe one action figures. Actually, it's going to be 4. And then, of course, 1 to books. I like books. I don't like to read a ton. But when something interests me, I am zoned in. I could shut everything else off around me. So, right over here, we got a NECA version of V. It's been a long time since I've seen that figure, but interesting story nevertheless. These coins were for the release of the first group of Switch games that came out, remastered. Love them. They're great, great collectible. Right over here is the Crow. I don't think anything needs to be said about the Crow. If you've been here long enough, or even if you haven't, anybody I talked to is a huge fan of that. Now, not necessarily sequels, but the first one just crushes it. Under here, we've got some other figures here. The Moss Man, and got a Skeletor. I've also dabbled into the He-Man universe for a while. Again, I think I've scratched that itch. I don't think I'm going to continue on. There's so much going on, unless there was a Castle Grayskull. I have that, but not in here. I've always wanted a Castle Grayskull. I had one, and then it just went away. I still have my Firehouse. I gave that to my son so he could have fun with it. And he has my old Ecto 2 from Ghostbusters 2, which is pretty cool. But I think that I have scratched that itch as well. But you never know with me, It's always something going on here. The Crow, NECA figures, first release. These were not the movie... they are the Movie Maniacs. Yeah, this is a first release. Eric Draven. Can't go wrong with that. There's plenty more NECA figures that I would love to have gotten. They are extremely expensive. This is a pretty cool one right here. Muhammad Ali. Can't go wrong with that. One of the best boxers ever to live. Made some appearances in WWE in the 80s. And of course, you got the Friday the 13th. I'll move that just because. I don't know if I've shown this off in a while. This is a metal replica of the poster. Really great detail in there. But it's missing a few things. And why is that? I believe it's trademark. So everything else in here is not trademarked to an extent, even though it says it there. But I think part of the trademark, those folks that used to be in front of that house, and we'll pull out the VHS if I remember to. For some reason not on there, and I find that kind of odd. This is a different line. I don't have any ambition of collecting a ton of these, but Toku and Razor, I'm a huge fan of. I did not find them for the line right here. They're extremely hard to find. You never know, maybe somewhere down the line I'll find them. I got a thing for them. Absolutely love them. And of course, we've got more movie posters up here. Got to have your representation of Friday the 13th. And if you know and you don't know, well, you're going to know. And if you know, then you're going to know again. I was born on Friday the 13th, and my name is Jason. That is not a coincidence. That is in fact the way it is. My mom was a huge horror fan, which is probably why I got into horror. And whatever else I'm into is probably a direct correlation to my mama. And I miss her daily. She has been gone for 5 years. She passed away at the height of the pandemic back in 2020. And I miss her every day. But we don't want to get too much in the weeds. But I love you, Mom. Again, sometimes we've got to veer off the beaten down course just to chat a little bit. Now, this section in front of me, I'm trying not to hit a lot of tables because I got a lot of stuff in front of me. Just my little tables I set up for when I'm in here. I'm not really in here much. And this right here, I'll show it real quick before we go on to the next thing. This is kind of a rat's nest here. It's got my PlayStation 3, 4, got a few other things, Blu-ray player, got the TV set and everything like that. I actually put my PS5 in the living room. And it's high enough away where the dogs won't eat anything, and we know to put the cords away and the controllers. You know, I'm kind of a crazy man and stuff like that. If you don't know, then you know now. Having a lot of fun with the kids and the wife playing some Call of Duty. I've got them sucked in. Finally. I mean, they liked it. They had fun with it, obviously. I didn't have them play it at a certain time point because, you know, that's the decision we made as parents to kind of hold off on that. But now they're old enough where we can have some fun and, you know that it's an entertainment thing. It's not a real thing. So, again, not to get too much into the weeds with that, but the PS5 is now in the living room. I don't really play much else other than that when it comes to the new gen. I was playing the PS4, the PS3 for a while. I was going crazy. Dead Rising, I played that for a while. I had so much fun. It had been years when I turned on my PS3. So now I can kind of use this as the almost retro station. I know PS4 isn't, but PS3, PS2, PS1 is. And just a lot of fun. So I kind of keep the PS5 out there. And we're going to get on to the next part of the game room, which was different the last time you saw it. So why did I do this? I wanted a better representation of that guy. No, he's actually really rare, and they came out in the 80s, and there's 3 or 4 of them. And I've only found one, but they go for a lot of money. And it's just a like a foam-like material. But I wanted a better representation of my movies, and I needed to clean that out, because we're actually going to look at it today. And ironically enough, doesn't look too bad. I know. Every other time, that is the forbidden doors. We don't go in there, but we're going to go in there today. We're going to check it out. So these are all the movies I've done. I think I have down the rabbit hole video series that I have where I go into my collection on all my different box sets. Some things you've probably never seen here before. Some of them you have. I think I went over the majority of them in a great detail. You know, get some other things that I like here. That's an interesting piece. That is a holiday decoration, which I think is cool that it's giving that silhouette of the light because it's reflective and blah, blah, blah. That's a disco ball. No, I did not grow up in the 70s, and I'm not really a fan of disco, but I like the ball. I don't know what to tell you. That's some guy I've had forever. He needed a place. He got it. Thanos. Cookie Monster. Care Bears. Love the Care Bears. Took forever to find them. I was into that for a while. Got all kinds of great sets here. Now listen, the thing with box sets, I'm going to make this very clear. I love The Walking Dead. That isn't the best box set I've ever seen. It's take a look at that video. You will understand why. It's very frustrating that we couldn't do something like this. This is great. Or something like that. Same idea as that. Okay, some of these sets are extremely expensive right now. This Halloween set can go anywhere between, I've seen it as high as almost $1,000 sealed. Do I collect movie sets and movies sealed? I don't. They were meant to be watched, and you could say that with ease. They were meant to be set up or played with or whatever you may be into. But nevertheless, these things are super expensive. I love watching movies. I love thinking about them. And I have a lot of fun with it. These sets are extremely hard to find. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them that are just out of print now. Once they're out of print, they become very expensive. So these right here, I kind of want to highlight these because I don't know if I went over these in my video. These right here, that's the Nightmare on Elm Street set. I heard there's a 4K coming out of that. That's great. These ones are a little harder to find as well. They are in-depth looks into the series of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. I would love to see one for Child's Play. I'd love to see one for... what's the other one here? Love to see one for Halloween. That's what it was. I couldn't believe it took me so long. I like shows as well. Another Friday the 13th set. I was super excited about this. The only thing about this release right here, as opposed to this one, is that contains the unrated version of Jason Goes to Hell, which is the way it should be viewed, in my opinion. Cool set. No complaints, but again, they were able to fix that with this set as well. Awesome, awesome set. And just to kind of showcase it a little bit, even though we already have. Love my horror. Can't say anything wrong with that. We're going to go more up. Again, up, and away we go. There's some figures from the Jax line. Very expensive. Very rare. Not all of them. They're hard to find. I think they're awesome. Except for that last one. That was one that was released not too long ago. But I didn't have one of the Giant. And I did not have a figure of Ric Flair. Really cool. Rest in peace, Mr. Paul Bear. Of course, Owen Hart as well. And we've got some more movie posters here. Again, horror mixed with some science fiction. I just watched this the other day, finally, on 4K, along with its sequel, Escape from LA. I don't have that poster. Just look at this. How can you say no? Such an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, stop watching this video and go watch it. I guarantee you, you will thank me at some point. Again, just some posters. Something I got, within the last year or so. Finally put him up somewhere. I had him hanging off the thing I used to have the phone when I would do videos on. Kind of got rid of that. Not really thinking I'm going to use it anymore. Addams Family. You can't go wrong with that. A lenticular Joker. And he's lenticular 3 different ways. Wow, I nailed it that time. That is awesome. Justified, Rescue Me, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy, obviously I'm a huge fan of as well. There's a poster back there as well for that. A few of them that are covered, it's okay, it is what it is. And now, we'll get to the point where we will take a look inside the Closet of Doom. And that's best dad ever, because I am. I got a medal to prove it, baby. And right here is something I wanted to show off as well. As my Metal Gear Rising collector's set for the PS3. Goes for about $400 or $500 now. I've never opened it. I have a secondary copy to be able to play on my PS3. I haven't played that in a while, and I was really wanting to do that. But nevertheless, we'll get there. Here's where you get crazy. But it's the Game Room tour. We could do that. Here we go. It's going to be a little dark. I forgot to burn my flashlight because I'm a fool. So, these figures right here. That one specifically, the Mating Cow. That's the first figure that started this whole nonsense with me collecting figures mint on card. I saved my money up forever. It was $400 at the time. I don't have a full, complete tick collection. Got some really good ones here. Deflator Mouse. These have gone down way down in value over the years, but this was a hot hide off after set that people are after. So this is something I got for my birthday. Didn't expect it. This is the Robocop set from NECA that has the battle damage Robocop, interchangeable head, got the chair. So many details in this. I'd love to go over it at some point. I got a lot of my movies in here. I have some figures, some other stuff, DVDs. These figures are going to have to go in here for now. Kind of ran out of room. And then got some foolery here, some nonsense. It's really not too bad. My books are in here as well. That's why I'd like to have a place for the books. That's another Spider-Man line. I'm more big into the Toy Biz line, but I liked it. It was cool. Let me see some light finally. These are the fruits of my collecting. The He-Man action figures again. I think I have itched that. I'm good. Batman Forever. You can't go wrong with that. We got some Michael Myers here. I didn't have room for all the heads I have. Mars Attacks. I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. There we go. Just so you can kind of see him. I was a huge fan of Batman Forever. Got my DVDs, mostly horror in here. A few others, and Blu-rays, 4Ks, the works. I mean, we've got so many movies, it's ridiculous. So that's right there. Is a classic 5 set from 1998. What a great year that was. That is really the fruits of the Attitude Era. Been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about. And, of course, we're going to get back to these. I didn't collect all of them. That's an awesome figure of the Joker. Mr. Julius Caesar. I don't know how much I paid for him at one point in time, many, many years ago. I can't even tell how much that says. I think it was $20-something. This right here. Again, they're pretty low priced on these. Not very expensive at all. Not a huge popular line. And you got an awesome Legacy Joker right there, which you can't really see because the light not cooperating with us. There we go. Yeah, he's awesome. Another expensive one. You got Beavis and Butthead. There's some Sonic. I dabbled into the Sonic for a little bit. Again, another itch that I have sufficed. And then we get back down to where we were. I'd love to go over my books. I have very particular books. Can't really see them. But, you know, some movies over there, stuff like that. This is the red phone. I had it out here at one point. That championship belt. You should all know what that is. Oh, there's a hidden Shawn Michaels in here that I meant to put up there, but I haven't yet. And this is kind of what I did here. If you went back to when I originally moved into this residence 2 years ago, funny little story with these. I did not overwhelm them with weight this time. Got my Freddy Krueger glove there. Can't complain. Got some of my box systems. I got right here. It's a pretty cool thing. I don't show this off very often. It's a train from the 70s. I think trains are cool. You got this right here. I got more posters on the other side, but again, we're not going to be able to go through all of them. The Toxic Avenger. And yes, I have the talk box. It's awesome. All the versions of Toxic Avengers 1 through 4. So I had the 4th one separate. All unrated, because that's the way they're meant to be seen. Speaking of Toxie, got some Grinch. Hello. Some Toxic Avenger. This was one released in the last couple of years. Awesome. Never had a Toxic Avenger figure before. I said, well, the hell with it. I get it. It's from the cartoon, but nevertheless, pretty cool stuff. Got Mr. Clean there. Why? Because why not? Got the bomb from Mario Brothers. I can't remember what the name of it is. I don't know why. Guess it's age. Venom. That's an original from the 90s. Love Venom. Can't go wrong with them. Got your Negan there. Mr. Clean was a gift from that individual that would go to the thrift and try to find things that I liked. And Mr. Clean piqued my interest. Why? Because how many people could say they own Mr. Clean as a figure? Does it matter? I don't know. Right over here, got a little bit of the Power Rangers. This thing I found at the thrift for like 50 cents. It's an arm from when there was a Terminator 2 thing going on in Universal Studios. This is actually from up north, I believe. But there was a section of it that was dedicated to that. Pretty cool. It doesn't work, but still cool to have. Got the Joker here, because you can't never have enough Joker if you're me. If you remember that, you know, you know. Right over here is some where I do the magic, where I get all the videos posted up and everything. Got some trinkets and stuff. We used to have a nonsense table. We don't have room for it. Got to give the thumbs up. Got all kinds of stuff going on here. Kind of clean this off a little bit. Pretty cool. This right here is an awesome poster that came with that set from Shout, Scream Factory, whatever you want to call it. And the attention to detail on this is amazing. I've gone over this in great detail. Again, you can't go wrong. I don't have many paper posters in here because I prefer these ones with the plastic. And I'll move some stuff out of my way so we can get over to the nook and cranny of this video and I'll keep you here 3 years. Again, some stuff from the thrift. Some stuff from my childhood. Again, this is something I've had in here forever. These 3 figures here. I think they're from Japan, or they might have been released in the States. I can't remember, but they're really hard to find. Not super expensive, but they got a gold bendable tick. Can't go wrong with that. Those candles there, I've talked about those many times. Very special place in my heart. From the 80s. And right here, of course, we got some more posters. Hannibal. Some Scream representation. Can't go wrong with that. And now, we're going to head off to the top. Got some more amiibos. Am I done collecting amiibos? Yes. I think I have sufficed my need for the amiibos. I think they're cool, great pieces. Can't see everything here. That's a pretty rare one right there. That is with the Metroid and Samus. That one isn't super rare. Again, these things were making some pretty good dough and, you know, getting sold a lot, and then they weren't. So, right here, you got some Ghostbusters. I don't remember which line this is from, but I saw these right before I left Massachusetts, probably within a year or two. Never had a Vigo, and I could always use it on the Slimer. Re-release 2020 into 2021, I believe. I don't know if there's been many more of these. They have, but again, they don't really interest me. The only thing that would obviously interest me now, Ecto 1 re-release, but look at how similar that looks to the original. Like, that's crazy. So that's a complete in box one. Then, and of course, the one you saw over there was a regular. The Firehouse, I would absolutely 100% get the Firehouse. I don't care where I'd have to put it. Just like the Turtles lair. Love a Turtles lair. Technodrome came out. Oh, we got stuff to talk about here because those, almost forgot. Technodrome came out. Turtle Van came out. I'm hell-bent on getting a Technodrome. Smaller in size and scale than the original. But you know me, I am not opening it. If I could get my hands on 2, I would. And I would set that right there and just look at it. Because it's awesome. Many of you don't know the original set of the Technodrome in the Turtles lair from the 80s can connect. Who would have thought? Either way, I don't think they're going to come out with that. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Again, more of the Amiibos. Can't go wrong with that. I love them. They're great. The only one I'd probably want, if I'm thinking about it out loud, is a Link. I don't have a Link. I have a Toon Link. I don't even think oh no, I do have them up there. I think that is the Toon Link. Yeah, that's the Toon Link from Wind Waker, I think it was. I want an actual Link from like Ocarina of Time, or, you know, kind of looks like, you know, Mario or whatever like that. I do want to go back to these real quick. I went over them a little quick. Like I said, they do look a lot like the original. Obviously, if you're collecting vintage figures of these nature, they're going to be very expensive, especially in this kind of condition. And you have to look at the year. I think that's really the only thing that I've been able to differentiate into the both of them. So, nevertheless, something to keep in mind. Got my action figures up here. CM Punk, some Hogan, Brett, $1 Million Man. Got a bunch of other ones up there as well. Diesel. I mean, the list just goes on. These figures are great. Do I have any ambition to keep going with this? Again, I think I've kind of scratched a lot of my itches when it comes to collecting. Does it mean I'm going to fully stop? No. Something's going to really interest me. Figures and wrestling do interest me a ton. There's a Yokozuna, very similar to that, but is like this in the red trunks, I believe. That's something I definitely would look for. And maybe the Hogan in the red and yellow. That would definitely pique my interest. Even though I have him, these figures are great. These figures are much more detailed. Articulation is certainly there. Accessories, yada, yada, yada. But I'm not going to open them, so am I going to notice the difference? Probably not. We'll go over some of the more posters up here. Again, great representation of horror. Got the old Child's Play up there. Can't go wrong with that. House of a Thousand Corpses. And of course, can't be mentioned without the Devil's Rejects. There we go right here. I did unbox the said glove. This thing's awesome. I actually put it on, was messing around with the dogs, and the wife was sitting there videoing me looking like a fool. I had the mask on, had that, had the sweater on, shorts and flip-flops, because that's what we do down in Florida. The Florida version of Freddy Krueger? I don't know. Maybe. This did not come with eyes. I got those separately, as you can see. I have them kind of spread around. I see you. What's it from? You play video games, you should know. I was waiting to get this out finally. I've had it stored away. I got a fedora for him. Finally, the fedora that came with it was garbage. Not vintage, but I think it's cool. And again, there's better masks out there, but nevertheless, this is a representation of Halloween 1, I believe. Awesome mask. The eyes. The darkest eyes. Well, it's not really dark. That's blue eyes, but nevertheless, don't judge. This right here is an awesome hockey mask. It didn't cost too much. I've gotten so many of these things. This thing was like, I don't know, $9.99 many, many years ago. I found that somewhere at the thrift. You know Michael's got to have the crown. And no complaints with that whatsoever. Let me move down here quickly. Just a bunch of, PS4 games, some other nonsense. You always use an extra foot. This is the CRT that I have. I have another one as well. This is the big one. This is the one I play all the retro crap on. Because let's be honest here. Retro looks 100% better and has basically no latency compared to playing it on a different TV. Challenge me if you'd like. I don't care what you say. That's 100% true, and I know that's kind of, science. Two different forms of entertainment, or two different ways to play entertainment, the way it was meant to be played, and then the way you could play it now. I get it. But that's awesome. Got the VHS DVD combo. But eventually, like everything, the big box will go. There's not a lot of people that I know that repair those. I don't know what I'll do. I'll be heartbroken. Or I'll just find another one. It'll be fine. That's just something I picked up at somewhere down the line the last couple of years when I got down here. Vinyl player. Can't go wrong with that. Love to play my vinyls. Got some randomness in here. You get another VHS player because I don't like to use that one. It'd be a lot harder to get a tape out if it got stuck in this than if this. And of course, we've got some other video game systems here. We've got the Sega Master System. It hasn't gotten a lot of love on the channel. I think that needs to change. And then we got our Atari as well. Got an old radio. This thing is awesome. I'd like to go over that as well at some point. This is a TV I kind of play things on. Stuff to kind of hold things in place. And then we get into the nitty-gritty here, folks. We're almost done. This right here is my stack of Laserdisc players. I have another one sitting around as well. They are awesome. Absolutely love the format. I think it is a great way to enjoy next to VHS. Didn't have it as a young person, but got into it as I got older. Of course, you get some stuff around here. It's a little hodgepodgey. It's okay. Got the systems. You know what they are. I have a beta player too. That's the only beta that I own. They're hard to find. Beta was like a version of VHS before VHS came out. I think they're cool looking. Never had it when I was younger. I kind of missed that, and I think that when I was younger, my mom got a VHS player. She probably had one of these at some point with her parents, but not me. I missed that. Again, we're getting up here. Some more of the systems. Not really the organization I want, but you got all the representations here. You got some other stuff, again. Just stuff that I like that kind of sit around. Got the snakes out. Got the skulls. These things were from, I think, Spencer's Gifts. I think that's what it was from. Not a lot of things from there, surprisingly. If I did that yesterday, that would have been a big mistake. Why? Because I had my statues on there. Unfortunately, some of them broke. Small little bobblehead ones. A little upsetting as I was trying to clean up and get ready to do this. But nevertheless, that's a newer TV. I think it's an LED, LCD. I don't know what the hell it is. But it doesn't do what that does. That's better. Latency here. And latency mainly due to this, but not as bad. There we go right here. The shark. Can't go wrong with that. Got Dick Tracy. Got some other stuff here. Kind of had some of these things tucked away. Kind of brought them out. Changed things up just a tad. Not too much, though. And then, of course, we'll go over the rest of these posters real quick before we get to the meat and potatoes. Again, love the horror. That's probably one of my favorite posters right there. Two of them. Return of the Night of the Living Dead Part 2 and Fright Night are amazing. I would actually get this tattooed on me. I'm not going to lie. And you can't go wrong with the original Night, Dawn, and Day of the Dead from good, great, amazing George Romero. Got to give Freddy some love here with some Nightmare on Elm Street posters. Love these two. Hands down, love the original. Second one's a little weird. That's an alternate poster. I think it was just Freddy on the one, and I think I have that there. We're going to go over that. Because we have to pull out the Friday the 13th one to go back to the original point we had. They got New Nightmare in there. This is just a bunch of things I've had over the years. Some from the younger years, some from newer. Didn't really get into Warner Brothers collecting, but just found it. Thought it was cool. Cupcake, because who doesn't want a cupcake? Got some old VHSs. Got my greatest hits up here. It goes back a little bit more as well. Can't go wrong with the four-letter way to handle business. Yeah, those are some brass knucks. I don't think they're actual brass knucks, but they're pretty cool. Just look at that. That doesn't scream 80s and 90s. I don't know what does. I need to get the third RoboCop on VHS. I'm a little upset about that. Ewoks, Ghostbusters, Turtles. Yeah, the third one, The first 3 Star Wars movies, and they're just great. Now, we're going to get over to the horror VHS. If you do plan on collecting VHS in general, they're not super expensive. Certain titles will be. Wizard's an expensive one. Some of these are. He-Man is a pretty expensive one. I was fortunate enough, I think, to find that at a very cheap price. Some of these get pretty expensive as well. These horror ones, if you're getting into collecting, just take it slow. I'm telling you, these things are super expensive. And I got them in lots. That's how I was able to do it. Now, to go back to my original thing about the poster, check this out. What do you notice there? Interesting, right? So everything else about the picture is pretty much the same other than, the copyright. These are mostly from the 1994 re-release, I believe. We're going to see if we can get that in there. Yeah, 1994, so these aren't... I think these would be second or third print. I still am glad to have them in there. I wonder why they made that choice, though. Why did that need to happen? Can you really tell who those actors are? I don't know. You could, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you could kind of tell. Okay, I get it. So they didn't want to pay the extra bucks to the actors. Maybe that's it. But, nevertheless, pretty cool stuff. You got the staples of horror, of course. You got the Pit there. Awesome movie. This one is a really good one. This one is not a second print. This one is... Actually, no, this might be second print. Close to the first. Some of these VHSs came like that, where it doesn't have a bottom, where, as you can clearly see, the other ones do. Really cool stuff. Very clean copies. Again, got these in a lot. Can't go wrong with that. It's Halloween. Awesome. And I think there was a reason why. Oh, yeah, because I wanted to look at the cover for Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Just look at them. I actually really like this movie. I know most people will say that was really good too. Resurrection. What are you going to do? Not everything can be awesome. Yeah, love this one. It's great. I have a screener of this as well. Such a cool cover. I'm glad they finally released the producer's cut. The way we could see it. Halloween 3. Not very liked at the time, but man, does it have a cult following now. Now, for the original poster of Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2, it's Freddy, just like I thought. Now that one. I like that one, though. This one's cool. That one just looks awesome. Just screams 80s. But nevertheless, when I'm going to pull all these out, just want to take a look, show you the collection. Am I going to keep going with the horror? Oh, I'd love to, but they're expensive, so it has to be very particular. So I don't want to skip too much here. The Hellraisers. It's another expensive one right there. Spookies. Monster Squad. I might have that on Laserdisc, I'm not sure. And of course, tell you where you need to be. Got those in the thrift many, many years ago. Got some other ones down here, and again, some extra copies, just stuff I've kind of picked up. Got a Slimer here. We'll see what he does. Let's move him out of the way. Okay, it might be dying. It's awesome. You know, I love my Slimer. Lots of things down here as well. That is my first official bootleg version of Halloween 6 that I had. The Crest of Michael Myers. Got it off eBay. Back in the 90s when eBay was first coming out. You can't go wrong with that. That's something I got from, I think it was Lowe's, I'm not sure. Looks just like. Wait for it. Last time I'll pull these out because it's taking a little too much time. Look at that. That's why I got it not officially released. There is one that is officially released, so that's pretty damn close. I think that's sick. Just look at this. VHSs are amazing. Do I watch them all the time? No, because eventually, like everything, they die out, so it's really just a collector's piece. I will pop them in every once in a while just to kind of get them moving. And of course, I go to the meat and potatoes. The main part of why you folks are probably here. That was my last purchase from Toys R Us. That is a Green Ranger helmet. Pretty expensive stuff. Legacy version, as opposed to the original of the Dragon Zord. Never had a Dragon Zord. Never had a Dragon Dagger. I do now, and I have many, many years. Awesome sets for NECA. Some that are very expensive, hard to find. The infamous Toka and Razor. Got some other NECA Turtle stuff up there as well. Of course, you got your Tunes of Terror line. I gotta really keep going with this. Again, no, I've itched this surface. The scratch has been done. It's good. But I like them though. I think they're awesome. I want to get a Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis set of these. I know I do have him in that. But just like the way this one looks. Good old Captain Spaulding. That was a tough one to find. This one's extremely hard to find. The Evolution of Evil. And I have the Michael Myers with the bedsheet on as the "Can I get your ghost, Bob?" thing from the first one. Super expensive. They range anywhere. I've seen them go for a couple $100 to about $1,000. So again, if you're getting into collecting, don't jump on the first thing you see. There's plenty of them out there. And, you know, I've always given these tips during my eBay time and buys videos, which I don't think I'm going to have very more of. Again, I'm not really trying to go heavy and hard with anything. But, again, it's me. You never know. Always ask questions. Always take a look at a bunch of pictures to make sure the legitimacy. Look at the comments. Look at how people feel about it. And remember, it's not always true. There are some great collectors I've seen that had horrible reviews. One or two that kind of ruined it for the rest of us. And they actually ended up being really good. And a lot of people have made mistakes and they turn around and they help you out. Few that didn't. But just keep that in mind. Jason X. Another sought after figure from the McFarlane series. And of course you got your NECAs. You can't forget the NECA figures. I didn't realize that for whatever reason NECA was that. There's a bunch of other NECA figures up there, but they are the same. Just didn't click in my mind. Absolutely love these things. Great articulation. You know your boy here ain't opening them up. We already gone over that. And then of course, very Super duper expensive piece. I'm not really into the flex, so please don't take it as that. But again, if you're a serious collector, you really got to hone in what you want. That's the only time that young Jason, child Jason, whatever you want to call it, younger version of Jason from the first one has ever been released. I don't think it has been. There's been a Pamela here and there, very similar to that. Not in this form, but in a bigger box form. But same idea with the material and everything like that. Really cool piece. Super happy about it. This one I got out in the wild. And again, the hits keep coming. That cloth, that's what it is. It's a cloth figure. This one I haven't brought out in forever. I don't even think I showed you it. I had it. I had a Escape from New York guy up here. Didn't really want him up here anymore. I found this guy buried in there or something else. And I said, well, I'm going to pop him up. Absolutely love it. Look at him. Just look at that. Awesome detail in the figure. Fantastic. Halloween 2. Can't go wrong with that. You know, your usual suspects. And then before we get into the meat and potatoes, I'm going to go through these, kind of explain this. That is something that when Cynthia worked for a movie theater, she was able to get it for me because they were going to throw it out. There was a whole huge display. That was the Halloween 2018. It had this door. Again, all cardboard. You know, that's super expensive, but those things are hard to find because, you know, those standees are impossible. I never had a standee before. You open it up. Michael's sitting there just like that. The music obviously plays behind it. I couldn't get the whole thing. I think it fell apart because some pots or some putzes were messing around with it too much, but I was able to get him. That is a standee that is awesome. And when the darkness comes and I have the light on, the silhouette is of a knife-wielding maniac. So when you go into this room, beware. He's waiting for you. Right here is just a bunch of different things that I've collected over the years. That's off of a birthday cake. I got a thing for birthday cake things. You'll see that. I don't know why. Just do. Bumped into Elm Street. Care Bears. Some things that are personal to me. Hashtag handsome. That's your boy here. That's from the wife. We got a thing with ducks. And she got a duck made for me. This is the Rob Zombie Halloween 1 mask. Didn't, of course, include the googly eyes, but I think they look funny. Duck, the green-headed duck. Can't go wrong with that. Some old LJN 80s figures that I was able to keep from my childhood, as you can see. I was a chewer. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. So wasn't he. So I guess I'm just going with the course, right? Nikolai Volkov, the Junkyard Dog. I'm surprised I actually found this before we left Mass. Not the figure, but the chain. Or, sorry, the collar. But there was no chain with it. Because the Junkyard Dog, you know, had the chain running around like a dog. Cool stuff here, the Grinch. Got some of these things from, found them at the thrift at one point or another. It's little pins and stuff like that. I'm not super huge in collecting that. Got some VHSs behind. Another greatest hits of the VHSs. Got tons and tons and tons of VHSs. I don't even know where to begin with that. Again, just some cool stuff. Love the big yellow ducks. I'd like a blue one. I've been unable to find it. Nice vintage Freddy Krueger right there from the 90s, I believe it was. Or maybe from the 80s. Some stuff from the thrift. Now, gonna love that gangster rap. Got my death row chains out here. Finally brought them out to be displayed. Got the moon. Another thing with ornaments. Couldn't tell you, but I think it looks cool. I finally got the snake out. Snake was hiding for a while. You can't hide the cobra. Which is funny, because that can correlate with that. Call me Snake. Now I gotta stop bouncing around. Try to get this done. We kept you here long enough. So right here, again, some more VHSs. I got that there. I don't know why, but that is my vinyl collection. Not too big. Just enough. And then my laser discs are pretty hot and heavy. Got a bunch of them. Love the format. That's a really good one. I actually want to try to watch some of my Clint Eastwood movies. I haven't had them in chance to watch them in forever. And then, of course, the meat and potatoes. It's hopefully the last time I have to move this damn table. Oh, by the way, didn't show that off. It's a Metroid. Best friend got it for me. Package got crushed in one of the moves. So he's out of the package. See, I do take things out. Now, let's get to these. And we'll get to the games. Oh yes, the NECA. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Secret of the Ooze. 4 figures. They're amazing. I can't bring them out. It looks like a giant VHS. I'd like the first one. Don't necessarily need the third one. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's cool for what it is. Again, we get some crazy stuff up here. That is a that laundry bear. I can't remember what it's called there. I think you'd be able to know if you know, you know, I guess, right? Some other stuff back there. These are some of the figures. Got some extras of some NECA figures. 3 of them to be precise. I don't know how I did that, but I did. I love them. Every figure in the way it's displayed has a reason. Told you I got a thing for cupcakes. So look at these. And you can't eat your cake and eat your ice cream too. Something like that, right? Some of these figures have been around for me forever. From my younger years. And you get some strange stuff in there. Don't ask. Don't know. Every single crane I have ever seen has an issue with that damn antenna. It's very fragile. Doesn't have this. I'd like to have a... You know what? We're going to go on record here. You know what I want? I don't necessarily need that re-release stuff for the Turtles. I need a vintage, complete in box, sealed, Tectodrone, and crane. Because the boxes are awesome. That's really expensive. Probably not going to happen. But, you never know. That's kind of what I want. So we'll keep that on record. That guy right there goes for like $100-something. It's a bigger version, a smaller version, a small scale of this, sorry. And I never knew that, but I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. This is something that Nintendo released. The Nintendo World Championships. We've gone over that in great detail. These are things that my kids had made for me on my birthday last year. Of course, that's the cartridge that comes with the Nintendo Championships. Obviously, it's not how you play it. It's not a playable cartridge, but it does have the screws. You could unscrew it. You could put something in it. You could play it. I mean, it's the right size. It's the same size as a regular NES cart, but I just think it's awesome. Came with enamel pins as well. I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, it's the signed Goldberg poster picture card. I don't know what you call them that I got from a customer of mine from work. And you can't really go wrong with a whole lot of this. We got a whole lot of stuff going on here. Ghostbusters, High C. That's from 2016. That is 9 years old. That is sealed. Never been opened. Am I going to ever open it? No. Would I be really upset if it broke? Yes. Has that been through multiple different temperatures and heat and has not broken? It is not. So let's hope for the best there. Again, some cool keychains, stuff I like having laying around. You got your Sega CD, complete in box. NES, Entertainment System, complete in box. Some magazines throughout here, some cool stuff. Told you, I had a thing for birthday stuff. I didn't realize it until last year or so, but we're going to see if we can turn this on because I think it looks cool. There we go. Look at that, huh? Doesn't that just bring spice? It reminds me of that. See that? Look at that. Yeah, that reminds me of the Sega CD. Maybe that's what the issue was. Happy birthday to me. Oh, we don't want to do that. It's going to blind people. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can get that back up without falling. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Okay. That's why I won't mess with things. Still pretty cool. And then, of course, continue down. Time for the game collection. That's what you're here for, folks. Respect to Buddy Christ. Can't go wrong with that. These are things that I have sealed. Collector sets I usually have sealed. I don't have very many of them. I don't like to have sealed stuff when it comes to video games, but I downloaded it. I have it digitally. I just really like these sets. Love the Castlevania series. They're amazing. And on to the games. Can't forget about your Ghostbuster duck. Or some crows. The murder of crows. Can't go wrong with that. NES collection. I have a lot of titles. I don't have a complete collection. Am I going for one? No. Do I feel I'm satisfied with the box, complete in box copies I have of games? Yes. Is there a reason behind it? Yes. That's what I like. Chiller. It's another odd one. Pull that out real quick. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That is... That's a game, all right. Yeah, this box is absolutely garbage, but... Listen, this game's pretty expensive. It's not an officially released NES title. There's a lot of different history behind these. Super cool. Censored version, uncensored version for the arcade is out there in the wilderness. Got a Super Nintendo collection right here. I plan on going hard and heavy and keep collecting to these. I don't think so. Again, I think I've gotten to that point where I've got what I want, but you never know. Some knockoff Care Bears, some not so knocked off Care Bears. More Happy Birthday, because why not? Again, just a lot of trinkets. All these games are very, mean a lot to me. They did something for me when I was younger. As did all games, but those hold a very close place in my heart. Again, NES collection, not too bad. Listen, I feel pretty good with the one I have here. It's getting a little hodgepodge. You got your thing. Not your thing, but the thing from Fantastic Four. Looks like they're confused. Some other random figures here. You got your Switch games in here. GameCube. Got a good chunk of those. Listen, I did unload some of my stock. Because, you know, that's what happens in life. Sometimes you have to. Some things that may have been here before are no longer here. And that's okay. Very small, but cool collection of Sega Master System games. I think I have a few more I want to get of those. Not boxed. Loose carts of Genesis games. Absolutely love it. Got that right there. What do we got here? The Page Master. There's some cool titles. Can't go wrong with that. Got a Kingpin, Toy Biz. That's my original. Goof. Can't go wrong with the Goofster. I was going hot and heavy and wild on these for a while. I love Xbox. Finally found one in the thrift. This thing, when you open it up, has a little trouble with the door. I worked through it. Again, from my childhood, that is a Cabbage Patch Kid. These two are from my childhood as well, so isn't that? Not a lot, but a few things. Cool collectibles, some Wii's. 32X, I'm not doing too crazy with those. PS1, I think I've done pretty well with those. And again, some figures from my childhood, some not. Some great titles in there. There's two of them that I'm looking for. I can't figure out where they are. Parasite Eden 1 and 2. Not a clue where they went. Of course, that is for my wife. Nice little birthday present. Sega CD. Absolutely. 1000%. My favorite system to collect for. I haven't done a lot of collecting for it because I'm after heavy hitters now. I'm after... Don't have to be after that anymore. It's an awesome game. That's from Hideo Kojima. He was responsible for that. Metal Gear. After Metal Gear 1 was made, and I think 2, or maybe in between 1 and 2, he did Snatcher. And it's a cool game. Kind of reminds me of Rise of the Dragon, which I believe I have here somewhere. Might not have it out, though. Might be behind some things, but pretty cool. Sega CD is awesome. Can't go wrong with it. And we've got Sega Genesis. Good, healthy collection of that. That's a really hard game, but I have played it a few times. I've enjoyed it. Get some other stuff, again, from my childhood. Some more Genesis. Down here, we get some CDs. We're starting to get into the weeds a little bit. It's PS3, limited edition. Awesome. Good Garfield down there because I couldn't fit him in. This is where it's going to get a little dark, the PS2 collection. And you can see I've kind of unloaded a lot of my PS2s I didn't necessarily need or want. That one right there, the document of Metal Gear Solid 2, is a pretty expensive one. Pennywise, can't go wrong with that. some pretty cool titles, and you know, that kind of wraps up the game tour. The game tour. I haven't done one of these in so long, right? That wraps up the tour of the game room for 2025. The next section of the video, we're going to get into where I've been, why I've been on YouTube for 6 months. I had somebody that was nice enough that is a subscriber and was just checking in saying, hey, how's it going? We haven't seen anything from you. Want to make sure everything's good with you. Never met this person personally, but I do appreciate the fact that somebody took time out of their day to say, hey, you brought us a lot of cool videos. You gave me a lot of info, a lot of different opinions on things. Not everybody's right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's really about opinion. Sometimes it's fact. Like for fact, that's really expensive. So isn't that? That is a fact. I choose to collect this over complete in box Hasbro figures. Because that is really expensive. And if I was going to go, I'd go hard. And if I'm going hard for that set, I'm buying another house. I mean, it's pretty high up there. I don't know if it's that high, but maybe a car. It's still high up there. But again, that is opinion. So where I was going with that, I appreciate that that individual was nice enough to check on me. I've also had people in Discord. I don't have a Discord, but I'm part of a few Discord groups. I don't go on there too often. I shut off the notifications for a lot of things. I'm not going to lie to you. Notifications to YouTube I still have on there, but notifications for Snapchat. I have a personal one. I have one for the channel, but I don't use it. It's kind of just gone in the past. To end this section of the video, because, you know, I didn't show this off. This right here. Oh, Preston. Don't judge. This right here is the only belt that matters in the sport of professional wrestling. Wrestling entertainment, whatever you may want to call it. Sports entertainment. This right here is the Winged Eagle belt. It's not an exact one because, as you can see, if it was, it would say WWF, not WWE. So this is a new one. And this is awesome. The big gold belt from WCW is awesome. I'll eventually get that as well. Any other belt? Cool. Intercontinental was cool from this time. Tag Team Championships was awesome at this time. The belts now are okay as far as the World Heavyweight and Universal Championship. But I prefer a good old Winged Eagle, baby. Kevin Owens would be proud, wouldn't he? Have a great day, folks. On to the last part of the vid, and I'll see you soon. Where have I been? What's been going on, and why haven't you released a video in probably 6 months? Enjoying a cup of coffee, because that's what I do. So if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I had about 3 or 4 videos ready to rock and roll over the last 6 months. And for whatever reason, let's get something set aside real quick. The dogs are going to be barking. They want to come out and play and have some fun, which we will do soon, but not with you guys and girls. We're going to obviously shut off the camera and enjoy the little time that I have left, and back to the work world I go tomorrow. But I did want to take some time to speak with you and kind of explain a few things. So I do this as a hobby, and I do appreciate all the folks that were kind enough to reach out and say everything was okay and this, that, yada, yada, yada. A lot of these folks I never met in person, just some folks that I have met along the way over my 10-year, it's been 10 years. I think it was 2015. I think I started cranking stuff up and took another year off, and 16 really hit it hard, and on and on and on. But either way, for the last 6 months, things have been pretty interesting in life. My job became very visibly more busy, as it does during the times of October to about April. And then the dust kind of settles and you can kind of try to get back to some normalcy, at least in the world I work in, is retail. And I was in a very, very busy building at the time. I've changed buildings, which is good for me. I didn't realize this, but over the last 2 years, I had been driving 100 miles each way, 100 miles a day, not counting when I was doing other things for the company at the time, took on other roles of leadership, probably anywhere between the lines of 150, maybe even close to 200 some days, not all days, but some days. Lots of miles to definitely take a toll on you. And I think that in the, with everything that was going on in the month of November, December, I had to unfortunately let a member of my team, so I have a team, we run a business, in a retail environment, help out another location. And for the 2 weeks that we were trying to do some transitions, trying to get some folks promoted to that were ready for the next step, things didn't go the way as it sometimes doesn't in life, and systems and groups of people and changes in corporate, all kinds of crazy crap that I don't really want to get into here because I don't really say who I work for a number of different reasons. But for 2 weeks straight, actually it was 16 days straight, I worked, and not a pity party, not a poor me, not a I need the flowers kind of crap, just being 100% real with you. In those 2 weeks and a day, or 2 weeks and 2 days, I had done well over 100 hours. I had worked from 6:30 in the morning to 12 at some days, and then from 12 to 3 or 4, hopefully get some hours of sleep, if that, probably 2 hours of sleep a night, and then got up, go to work at 4:30 because I was a pretty decent amount away from the job, 50 miles there, 50 miles back home, 100 miles, there goes the math. I have certainly taken up a lot more of your time than I normally do. I appreciate the thoughts and comments and inquiries on how I'm doing as a creator and as a person, as I know a lot of you that I've talked to throughout the years and having some fun and everything like that. I just want to say thank you, and thank you for all of you that made it to the end of this video. It's a very long one. My video game, my game room tours are typically pretty long. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do them unless I do some drastic changes, but I do like to go back and reflect and maybe have some more opportunity where I can, explain something a little better, or maybe my outlook change on something. I do appreciate it, but take care of yourselves. We'll see each other soon. We will. On my way, dogs. Let's have some fun. Ha ha!